have been having some impressions and things that I feel like God's talking to me about this coming year, 2024. And you said you had a dream, and just before the show, and we were talking about that. So I was thinking maybe we could start with that because it's very important. Dream, it's directional.
Yeah, and it was interesting because the Lord told me yesterday he was going to give me a dream for your show today, and he does not disappoint. And it was so good. And just before we started the show, it got really hot in the room here. I mean, I even see my cheeks are getting warm. It's like I'm getting flushed. It's really interesting. It feels very hot right now. I'm in my prayer soaking room. I'm not at my dining room table today like I usually am because my house is going through a little bit of a mini remodel. And so I'm not in that room today, but I'm in my prayer soaking room. It's really hot in here.
I'm turning up the fire.
I know it's going to be a good show. So so I'll start out with this dream, and it's pretty interesting. It was a dream of driving down roller coaster road. And it was wild. So I was on this vast road, which looked like a roller coaster ride. And the first portion of the road, we were going downhill, like really fast, like vertically downhill. And we were at top speed. Then I saw in the distance, the next leg of the road, it was a steep climb with some portions of the road going upside down like a roller coaster. It had several loops in it. And I know before then we would need to accelerate at top speed to get good traction. But at the bottom of the road, after the downhill portion was over, there was a rest stop. And many were encouraged to take a rest before taking on the next leg. At the bottom of the hill, after the rest stop, there was a little bit of a windy road so that you could start accelerating to help make up for the next leg because there were some upside down loops coming and like a roller coaster. And this was to help you catch speed so you could accelerate at top speed again. And the dream ended with me starting to accelerate toward the upside down loops on the next leg of the road. Roller coaster road, here we come.
Right. Yeah, I kind of think that is pretty much a picture of kind of how it's going to be. We talked a little bit about that. I thought it was interesting. The first of the dream, you were going downhill top speed, which doesn't require any effort from you whatsoever. You're just along for the ride, And so it seems like it's going very, very fast, but then it hit a place where you had to accelerate very quickly or very powerfully in order to get through the next portion of the roller coaster ride. And I had been feeling like that I likened it to going down the Rogue River, which is, we know that for rafting. We lived in Oregon for a while too. And when you are in a boat and you're going down rapids, I've never been down the really heavy ones. That's just for everyone's safety. I didn't go down the really big ones, but I have been down there. And everyone in the boat has to position themselves. And they go through the rough water. You go through this rough water, and then everybody is all making their oars go in certain directions. They're all positioned around the boat so that no one falls out. Nobody, the boat doesn't turn over and that kind of thing. And then you go through a smooth spot. And the smooth spot is where everybody can examine, they can think about it, they can talk about that part, or here comes the next one, kind of thing. And I think this is kind of how 2024 is going to be. I think it's going to be, we're going to go through these times where we haven't been this way before. I was talking to you about, Joshua 3, where, he said, Moses, my servant, is dead, Joshua. In other words, you're going to have to take over, and you haven't been this way before. So God's going to go before you. He's going to go with you. He's going to give you, Deuteronomy 31 says he's going to be with you before you. He's going to go behind you, and he's going to be on your sides. So he's going to give you new protections for new directions. And so this has been something that none of us have ever been on before. We've never been going in this direction before. We've never had these kinds of obstacles or challenges or things like that before. But what it does is it goes to strengthen you, and it goes to bring out all the things that he's put in us, almost like investments. over the years that God
Yeah.
has been investing in us. And now we're going to see them come to light. We're going to exercise. We're going to put to practice what he's been showing us and telling us. And we've been preparing for it. We've all known that, I read somewhere that said, well, we're not all in, maybe not all in the same boat. We're in the same storm,
Yes.
so we may be in different boats, but we're all in the same storm. And, so I feel like, that we're having to literally let go of some things that we have done in the past. There's not they won't benefit us. They're not going to help us. They're not going to advance the kingdom. They're not going to advance God in our lives. We're going to feel stagnant. We will feel exhausted, honestly, trying to do something the old way. We'll use a lot of our effort. We will spend all of our strength in vain if we don't let go of some of this old stuff and begin to let God navigate us with his strength, with his direction, with his peace, and show us a way we haven't been. So, and I feel like that's your roller coaster dream. It's going to be something that's going to require times of rest. And I thought that was interesting when you said you had to get rest on your roller coaster dream.
Yeah.
To be able to make the next loop. And some of them were more challenging than the ones before. It was a road. It's a roller coaster road. It wasn't just on track. You were on a road. So it has to do with, a way that you're going to be, that all of us honestly are going to be navigating. So it's real important for us to think about what is it that he's invested in us. I know that we've come into a preparation time. We've been through a preparation time, and it's different when you're preparing and you're not in the middle of the challenge, and when you're having to prepare when you meet the challenge.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's a level of preparation that we've all had where we can face a challenge, but then when you get into the middle of it and you see what it really is, now there's different types of preparations that need to be made in order for us to face it as it's kind of on the run, on the go.
Right. And with the roller coaster and going at top speed and then having a rest stop, it's like, the Lord is saying, I'm with you. I have you. Don't be scared about this new road before you. I'm going to give you times of refreshing, times of rest in between, the different legs of the road. And, to me, it made me think of your word here about preparation time. He's preparing us for that road ahead.
Oh, yeah. We've been in preparation time, and a lot of it has not been comfort. It hasn't been in comfortable places. But then again, warriors, I put this on a post, warriors are not challenged. They're not created in the comfort zones of life.
Yeah.
They're created when we've been through these challenges and these difficulties and these things where we didn't know what to do. And we didn't see it coming, blindsided. We had things that were taken from us, or we had betrayal issues or things like that had happened, or just huge, devastating blows and surprises that we just didn't know, we didn't see coming. And it's real easy at that time to just say, you know what, forget it. I'm just backing out. I can't do this. But that's the very time that you go to the feet of the one who's already been before you and knows where this is going to take us. And he brings comfort, and he brings this overwhelming love, and his comfort and his mercy will actually repair and heal your heart from trauma and from all the things that you've gone through. And, all of us, I was thinking how, I think it's in Psalms, it says, teach us to number our days that we can apply our hearts unto wisdom. I'm going to have to think about where that is. But, I think that we are in a time right now where we need to number our days. We need to see, how do we apply our hearts? How do we prepare our hearts? How do we give our hearts to wisdom to be able to understand and know what it is that God wants us to do in this time and in this hour? That we literally shut down voices of other people and other things He said, not just my sheep know my word. He said, my sheep know my voice. So when we can shut down other voices, there it is, Psalm 90:12.
Yes.
Teach us to number our days that we can apply our hearts unto wisdom. We're there.
Yeah.
We have got to let God teach us his ways. We need to apply wisdom from heaven, so that we're able to move in sequence. I always think about in tandem. I always call it working in tandem with God and with the Holy Spirit, because that way we're not ahead of him. We're not behind him. We're not just pulling things out that, in a time of a knee-jerk type of response. And we're actually waiting for him to give us that instruction.
So I want to